Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hello, good evening. What a phenomenon time to be alive, and what a phenomenon time to be in a relationship. This is gonna be awesome today. Absolutely awesome. I'm so excited. If you can hear me, just let me know in the comment box. Yeah, we're talking about something very interesting today. So please, if you have kids around you, take them away. Those that are less than 18, take them away, please. I'm begging you, right? I don't want any confusion in their mind. This is for the mature hearts. If you're single, just pray about what I'm going to talk about. Please do not practice this at home. If you're single, okay, I don't want to be responsible to God for violating the biblical principles. All right. What I'm going to talk about is something that we need to do if you're married. Okay. So, no offense. I'm a man of faith. I just want to put that disclaimer out there, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Awesome, awesome. And if you're married, man, please just get someone around. Thank you so much for joining me. But if you can hear me, just let me know on the chat box very clearly. Let me see that you are here with me. And then the other thing I also want to emphasize right now on this live is if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so so that you can be notified when we have more lives like this because more are going to come. And then the other thing again I want to say is this. Please, a lot of these videos are videos that can change lives, are videos that can turn things around, and the videos can actually make your marriage and relationship more exciting, more fantastic. All right. So, like to share this thing, like, comment, tell me what you think about these videos on the comment box. I like feedbacks. I like you to tell me what you think and what you've learned. These things are good, right? It also helps us to make sure that this video goes around and to reach more people around the world and around YouTube. So, subscribing, liking, sharing, and send this thing to friends and family that are married around, and those that are about to get married or just got married or coming back from their honeymoon, right? Just share these videos with them. I would really, really appreciate if we do that, because that's just a way of helping each other to grow, to be better, and to be fantastic. And if you're new today, my name is Chinda Chinda. I'm a life relationship and performance coach, and I focus and concentrate in harnessing couples by supporting them to discover their relationship differences, by helping them to understand their fundamental personality differences so they can navigate through all marital challenges and hurdles and pain points in order to build relationship that works, that is exciting, that is beautiful. All right. So today I have this interesting topic. Just let me know on the chat. I don't know if somebody can hear me. Am I just talking to myself? Can I just know in the chat if you can hear me, please? Oh my goodness. I hope I'm not just talking to myself. If you can hear me, just say you can hear me on the chat box. All right. And just type something. Let me know you're here. Just want to make sure that you're hearing me very clearly and I'm not talking to the wind. All right. And please send this video to your friends and family. Put it on your status. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. And just tell me where you are joining me from. Okay. Let's make that quick, exciting. Tell me where you're joining me from. Want to make this live really exciting today. All right. Let me know where you are joining from. Okay. Awesome, 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 awesome. Today is gonna be something. All right. Okay. Um, this is what we're talking about today. Exploring and expanding sexual repertoire. Exploring and expanding sexual repertoire. Like I said before, the disclaimer is that to remove teenagers from here. Okay, remove anyone that might be disturbed with some of the content and what I'm going to say. This is not meant for kids. So please, if you don't mind, parents and those in love, just help me to make sure that the information reach the right people. And then send this thing to your friends and family. This thing could just help somebody's marriage and relationship. It's not fair that we're all learning by ourselves and we are all getting better, and then we know this thing can help other people and we don't share that. So it will not be the best. So share it, put it on your status, help other people, but make sure that it's not for teenagers and kids. This is very, very important. All right. So I'm going to be talking about something very interesting today: exploring and expanding sexual repertoire. And I want to be very real and practical with all of you here. Okay. If something resonates with you, just put it on the chat box. If you have any question, I'm going to try as much as I can to be quick. If you have any question, just put it on the chat box. I'll see how I can help you, and we can answer some of these questions. All right. Now, this topic I'm talking about, most times people are shy. Okay. Most people are shy. Anything that has to do with sex, they're shy, especially if they are married. And sometimes the religious ones, those ones that pray, go to church, and read Bible, most times they don't like hearing about these things. Or these things should be spoken in the secret places. Like let's hide, let's hide, let's not talk about it, let's not talk about it. All right. um it's not secret, because if you look at the Bible, it's littered everywhere, right? The prophets of God, they had sex. Okay, they had children. Okay, Adam and Eve, they had sex, they had children. Okay, and also if you look at the songs of Solomon, look at Proverbs, look at everywhere in the Bible. But it's true, this thing is real, right? So I don't want you to be shy about this, and don't be shy to ask your questions if you want to. This is very important, so that you feel free and relax, as long as minors are not there with you, because I will not take responsibility if the minors hear this information. It's not meant for them. They need to go and study, read their book, pray, and look up to Jesus, the author and the finisher of their faith. But for those that are married, let's come in here, eat some food, and let's inspire ourselves and get better in what I believe can change our lives. All right. Awesome. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's get into this. When we talk about exploring and expanding, I'm going to take these keywords because they're very important. The four: exploring, expanding, sexual, and repertoire. Okay, exploring is very typical. You try, you're curious. Okay, you're adventurous. You want to find out stuff, and you're not used to one thing. Okay, explorers are dynamic people. They're not static. They're not stuck. In fact, they're not boring. They explore different places, different areas. So see yourself as an explorer of the human body. Wow, this is powerful. Please let me repeat that. Husband, wife, see yourself as an explorer of the human body. You are not exploring the earth, the galaxies, the planet, or the Amazon forest and the bushes and all over the place. You're exploring the human body. So you gotta explore that thing. This thing called human body is amazing, it's incredible, it's powerful, and it's something that God has given to us, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. So see yourself as someone is curious, someone that want to know more, someone that want to discover new places, new areas, somebody that want to take their sexual encounter and satisfaction to a whole new level. Do you understand what I'm saying? Someone that is not just gonna take any no for an answer, someone that go deeper and further. So explorer of your wife's body. That's what I mean. Explorer of your husband's body. And then expanding, something that becomes bigger, something that grows, something that enlarges, something that increases in percentage, something that makes you feel much better each time, something that gives you higher level of pleasure, satisfaction, right? When it comes for sexual perspective and sexual satisfaction perspective. So when we talk about you exploring, you explore with your hand, with your eyes, with your mouth, with your body, with your feeling, with your brain, with your mind. All those things are together exploring the wife's body, exploring the man's body. And then while you're doing that, you're expanding in your discovery, right? You know this part of the body. You say, wow, I've just discovered another part that is sensitive. I've just discovered another part that gives pleasure. I've just discovered another part that is just amazing. This is gonna be awesome. So you're expanding in your understanding, your knowledge. You are self-discovering as you begin to explore. You're discovering, your knowledge is increasing, your pleasure is increasing. And it's not something that you do when you are newly married. You do it for the rest of the marriage. Okay? This is very important. And then when we talk about sexual repertoire, guys, this is so powerful. Absolutely powerful. And I want to address this thing. When we talk about sexual repertoire, it refers to the range of sexual activities, right? You know, behaviors, techniques. I mean, preferences that are very mutually pleasurizing. You get me? Something that engages the mind, the spirit, the soul, the body, something that makes you feel so amazing in the place of exploration of the spousal body. All right. And this thing encompasses the sexual intercourse involved, and this include different positions. Okay, if you know what I mean. There are role playing that you guys do. There are use of possible sex toys if that works for you and you need it and it's necessary. Great. Okay. There's some erotic fantasies that both of you get involved in. Um, Possible oral sex that you want to get yourself. I mean, there's so much more. These activities of sexual repertoire allows the individual to be very unique in the way they want to be explored, they want to enjoy, they want to have heightened pleasure. This is incredible because listen, sex is not just about reproduction. Because if it was about reproduction, then we're going to have more than 8 billion people on the earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? If that is what it is, that every time you do this, you get the woman pregnant, you have babies. No. Do you know sex isn't just about reproduction, creating generations and legacy of babies? It's one of it, but it's not all. It gives you so much more. So if we make love to our spouses and pleasure is key, satisfaction is key, absolute love, infatuation, love, excitement, just invigorated with your spouse. You feel regenerated, you feel relieved regularly. Okay, you are healthier, because this thing helps to keep your heart rate to pump blood properly. It increases your immunity. It makes you to sleep well. Do you understand what I'm saying? It helps you to be fit. There's so much benefit of engaging in sexual activities that gives you all these amazing advantages, which means God wants us to make more love than having kids. You get that? Right? See, you don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to feel bad about this. It's the gift of God. Why should I be ashamed about it? So God gave us this thing that has been misrepresented in the media, in social media, represented by men and people that have been involved in some perversive activities. People have been involved in some shady stuff, some really really unrighteous acts. They've made this thing look as if, what is this sex? This is terrible. This is not nice. It's not true. It's lies. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's lies. So do not let anybody make you feel that sexual satisfaction is a sin. Satisfaction is not something you should do for the rest of the marriage. You only do it when you are married at the honeymoon stage. When you guys just started the relationship. That is not true. It's the lie from the pit of hell. God wants you to enjoy it till you die. You get it? Absolutely. That is what He made for. So don't sell this thing cheap. This is so important. So why it is unique to give you pleasure and satisfaction, the experiences should be memorable, right? God don't want you to have bad sex. Bad sex. You know, bad sex are those sex that it feels like, why did I even get involved in this? Bad sex is no good for marriage. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is bad sex, there's good sex. God wants us to have good sex. God wants us to have satisfaction sex, pleasure giving sex. That is what He wants for you. Now, I'm going to give us some challenges that makes this thing not to be like this. This is very, very powerful. So that is why it's important to have this conversation with your wife, with your husband. What works for both of you? What is unique? Don't compare your wife with a porn star. Don't compare your husband with a porn star. Don't compare them with whatever experiences you've had in the past. This relationship is unique, is beautiful. You don't bring your boyfriend into it. You don't bring your past experiences, the movies and the pornography, the magazines. Drop those things, focus on each other, and begin to develop your sexual repertoire because it's absolutely powerful to transform and change the dynamics of this marriage. Okay? I I I love this thing called sexual activity. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Why should I be ashamed about this? This is what God has made. This is what God gave to us. Why we are ashamed of it? So if it's not great in your marriage, in your relationship, and most times those people that are in faith or religious that shy away from this, they are struggling. They are not expressive. They don't enjoy this, and they're just managing and suffering and enduring bad sex in their marriage and relationship until the coming of Christ. That should stop. This is why I'm doing this. Send this thing to your friends and family. Let them know God's plan is that you have an amazing and beautiful sexual life. It is your right, it is God's gift, and we gotta enjoy it. Okay? Right. Now, before I go into the sexual repertoires, before I go into what you actually need to do to be great and amazing, I want to talk about some of the unique challenges that spouses face for not building great sexual repertoire in their relationships. These things hinder you from enjoying sexual pleasure the way God wants it to be. In our inner circle, for those that are in, we've been talking about this seriously this month of June, and now we're trying to, curate the whole thing together. Want to finalize it, but want to share with those outside as well to know that sexual repertoire, it is absolutely what God wants for you. But let's see some of the challenges. Now, I want you to see this section as very therapeutic. I want it to be real. All right. Stop. Don't pretend. Okay. Don't feel this is very uncomfortable. Now let's have uncomfortable conversation around sexual satisfaction and pleasure so that you can come out of uncomfortability to comfort of sexual pleasure in a mega sense as designed by God Himself. Right. Now, what are those challenges? I want you to take notes and I want you to have discussion with your spouse if they're not there. And if there's some of the things I say that is going to create a bit of uncomfortable state in you, it's not to condemn you or judge you, but it's just to make you know that there is work that needs to be done in this area. Okay. Uh, don't endure bad sex. Bad sex is not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. Unfortunately, many people are having bad sex, and that is not what God wants for them. So let's look at some of those challenges. Number one, communication barriers. You know, there is no way you can build great sexual repertoire, great sexual activities. There's no way you can explore the body of your wife and the body of your husband in a way that satisfy the senses. Listen, guys, it's important you know this. Sexual pleasure and sexual satisfaction is not a spirit thing. I say that again. Sexual pleasure and sexual satisfaction is not a spirit thing. Huh? If you want spirit satisfaction, go and pray. Okay? Pray. See God's face. Sexual pleasure and sexual satisfaction is not a spirit thing, it's a body thing. We are made of spirit, soul, and body, right? When I say it's not a spirit thing, what I mean is that when you engage in it, it's on the body level. But because you're focusing on your wife, you're focusing on your husband, it is important you know the only effect in the spirit is that you are pure. Does that make sense? Right. That's why God forbids adultery, He forbids extramarital affairs and having sex with strange women and strange men and messing up the bed that is supposed to be pure. He said marriage is honorable and bed undefiled. You don't want to defile the marital bed. If you've done it, repent, stop, come back. That is not God's plan. You got to focus on one woman, one man, no matter what the word says. This is not politically correct. And I'm not talking about political correctness tonight. I'm talking about Bible. I'm talking about principles that govern the marital monogamy as designed by God Himself. All right. The spirit just remains pure so that you don't contaminate your relationship with God. That's why you need to be faithful to your wife. One man, one woman, one woman, one man. That is what God wants. But the pleasure is on the body level. The spirit does not have any pleasure when you have intercourse. Guys, you need to get this right. It is the body. It helps your cardiovascular. It helps you to be distressed. It helps you to sleep well. It helps you to have immunity. It helps you to cool down. There is so much benefit on a body level. Do you understand that? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So, number one of the challenges that we have is communication barriers. You see, difficulties in opening discussion that centers around sexual desires, fantasies, about the boundaries, and hinders you from building a diverse sexual repertoire are very common. It feels so bad that some individuals may feel embarrassed and they feel judged. Some of them lack proper communication skills to express their needs effectively. All right, and because they are not able to express their needs effectively, it becomes more difficult to even satisfy them. I mean, you can ask your spouse, "How do you want it? Is this environment okay for you? How is our sexual experience so far? Are you sure that this is working? Is this position boring? Do you want to try something new? Is there questions you want to ask me about this area from a scale of 1 to 10 this week? How was I? Okay, do you feel I'm judging you? Do you feel embarrassed when I talk about this? Are you afraid to share your desire with me?" Now, when you are not able to do this freely with your spouse, that is an issue. When you cannot freely communicate, that is an issue. This can hinder pure pleasure in your relationship, in your marriage. Secondly, is mismatched desires. mismatch desires. Oh, this is very, very important in most marriages and in most relationships. Mismatch desires. And when you have mismatched desires, this thing can become a massive problem. Let's say, for example, one partner may desire more frequent experimentation, while the other prefers a more predictable sexual routine. They like it on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Some want to have sex in the night, other one want to have sex in the morning, other one don't want you to touch them when they are asleep. Are you getting what I'm saying? Other people are crazy. They want to have sex in the airport toilet, they want to have sex in the car, they want to try on the table, and the other one say, no, I don't want to try any of these things. So you gotta find out a middle ground through proper compromise and understanding. You got to negotiate, right? You got to get out of your way just to make sure that each person feel comfortable. You know, exploring new activities in a pace that is comfortable for both partners. It's sad that in a mismatched desire, one is judging the other, condemning the other, one is making them feel low. Sometimes they don't even desire, they are shy, they feel embarrassed, they don't even feel like getting involved. Yes, that can kill your sexual pleasure and satisfaction. You can't build proper sexual repertoire if you are constantly not able to compromise, not able to negotiate properly. Most times we are so carried away with a lot of the things we do, and we forget that we are married. We are married. Marriage is all about compromise. Marriage is all about negotiation. Marriage is all about looking for alternative ways. Marriage is about meeting in the middle and finding way to forge forward. Everybody cannot be the same. Your wife can be you, your husband can be you, and your mismatched desires is okay, but there are ways around it. So these are some of the problems we have. Sometimes at the beginning of the marriage, everything seems okay, but as they begin to grow older and things begin to change, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25 years, you see that everybody is just feeling tired, and everybody just feeling, I don't want this, I don't want that. There's too many. I don't want, 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 I don't want to try this. And then before you realize it, the person is so bored. But when somebody is saying, I don't want, maybe there is something underneath that. Because if someone is enjoying something, if someone is okay, if someone is not traumatized, if someone is not having any problem or trouble in their lives, why would you not want to compromise and engage as a team, as someone that is together with someone they love? So when you're not able to walk around your mismatched desire, there are underlying issues. Number three, lack of knowledge or experience. Lack of knowledge or experience. Unfortunately, people are no more reading about sexual satisfaction today. There are godly, amazing books out there to learn and to grow and to be better. But people are not expressing themselves. All they know is what they know 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And they are just boring in the bed. The man is boring, the wife is boring. Everything that they're doing is just so dry, so cold. Sex is just like hard work, like a chore, no excitement, no feeling of this pleasure thing. And yet you're wondering why. So limited exposure to understanding on the working of a woman's body, the man's body, exploration, researching through books and attending workshops and doing online courses, watching educational videos together to expand your knowledge and enhancing comfortable ways to possibly perform better. Some people are just, you know, bombarded with anxiety. They are too self-conscious about their body. Maybe marks, maybe stretch marks, or maybe they are not able to do certain things. Sometimes the size of the individual, whatever it is that is hindering you from exploring yourselves, then I would recommend that you change that and you begin to act a little bit different. Knowledge is power. Remember, when you feed your mind with knowledge, with understanding, then you know how to perform from a place of knowledge, not a place of ignorance. You don't know this. 5, 10, 20 years, you don't know, and you are okay with that. I mean, that should be very embarrassing to you as a person. Okay. Since you were born, since you guys got married, it's only missionary you guys have done. It's okay, missionary is comfortable. But you know that sometimes it's boring. Sometimes you want something different. And even the missionary say, you're not even doing the variation of missionary. It's only one missionary style, the one that Adam and Eve did. Only God knows who they were and how they did it. Just that particular dry cold one you managed at the beginning, you are still doing it for 15 years, for 18 years. You've not tried anything, and you're wondering why things are boring, right? You're not learning. You see? So these are the things that we need to explore. Then another problem is performance anxiety. Performance anxiety as well, and self-consciousness. Sometimes you feel so anxious, you're not able to perform. You're not appearing in a way that the sexual encounter is great. Sometimes you have some challenges and some problems, but you're not able to open up properly. Other people are bombarded with what do you call that? The insecurities. Okay. And sometimes you feel that you were judged before so much, and that is affecting the dynamics and the environment of your sexual satisfaction in your marriage. And you lack this self-confidence, even body positivity you don't have. You are ashamed of your body, the shape, uh even the parts, the private parts, the way it looks. You just feel embarrassed, and you don't want anything to near there. And every time you want to engage, you're afraid, you're shy, you're hiding. All these things, they will not allow you to build sexual repertoire with your spouse. Okay. And then we have another one: past trauma or emotional barriers. Oh, trauma is another one. Trauma is a messy stuff. It does not help any spouse to engage in building great sexual satisfaction life. All the traumatic experience, whether childhood trauma, parental trauma, partner trauma, ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend trauma, relationship trauma, rape trauma, all sorts, suffering trauma. There are all sorts of trauma out there. If you don't walk around this, you can't enjoy the way God wants these things to happen. And that's why I would say seek therapy, seek counseling, seek help. Don't just stay there. Address these underlying issues. If you're worried about them, seek guidance, because you need to heal to deal. If you don't heal, it's difficult to deal with this thing I'm talking about. Some other people, there's trust issue trauma, right? And then you can't build this kind of thing. So past trauma and emotional barriers, deal with it. Then we also have differences in libido and sexual needs. One partner may have a higher libido, one will have lower libido, and this might lead to challenging or how they build a sexual satisfaction. It's difficult to find balance. But if you don't openly discuss it, if you don't address it by healthy communication, if you don't find way to know what is the need of the other person, what is the other person need, you will not find way to move forward. So you can't create any solution at all. And if it's that you need to schedule time to do things differently, you do it. But you gotta talk, you gotta discuss these things. You need to be real with yourself. Otherwise, things are just gonna get bad and bad and bad. Then you have lack of variety or routine. Oh, this is where I think I mentioned that before. You know, the the intimacy life is so monotonous. Okay. It's not exciting. Whether you like it or not, sex should be exciting. It should make you happy. It should excite you. Should create some sensation in you, some satisfaction. But if the routine is boring, there's no excitement, there's no novelty, then you need to encourage yourself on what are the elements that you guys are lacking. Is it the location? Is it the position? Is it the scenario? Is it the foreplay? Is it the techniques? What is it? Why is this thing boring? Why is it that we're not exciting? Sex should be fresh. Okay, it should make things really, really lovely. And if you're not getting that, then there's an issue. These things block you from having adequate sexual repertoire. Others is inadequate time and energy. If you're so busy, 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 and you're so worried about a lot of things, unfortunately, the stress, fatigue, they will impact your ability to invest your energy and time in expanding your sexual repertoire. This is so powerful. So, if you don't prioritize time, if you don't explore ways to manage your time and manage um, your availability, and then consider ways to reduce stress and build your way up, then inadequate time and energy is just going to tear everything apart. And then you just feel yourself falling into bad sex all the time. and that's not good for you. Others are negative body image. They are they're so shy about their body. The way they are. Some women, maybe they've given birth to kids, the stretch marks. Sometimes the size has increased. Maybe the man and the woman's stomach, body, or different parts. It's no longer the way it should be, and then they feel the self-conscious body negativity will step in, and then it will hinder the ability to explore, ability to express themselves. They cannot really be themselves, and this negative body image concern affect the ability for them to feel accepted, ability for them to feel that their self-confidence is being boosted. They lack the ability to fully function and to affirm that their body is okay. So if you don't love you, if you don't have good self-care, I'm sorry, who is going to do it for you? Someone can try, but most times they will not succeed the way if it comes from you. And I don't know what you've gone through in your childhood. I don't know what you've gone through with your previous relationships. I don't know what has happened in your marriage for whatever reason. Sometimes words that were said to you by your husband, by your wife, by your friends, by your colleagues, ex, or whatever, and these things has affected your ability to accept who you are. And because of this inability to fully accept who you are shy and you are embarrassed most of the time. The last one is lack of trust and emotional intimacy. I don't know how you can build sexual repertoire and exciting relationships if you lack trust, if you are not confident to express yourself fully with your spouse. Emotional connection is powerful, and when you're not able to do that freely, when you can't be trusted in a relationship, there is issues, that is confidential, issues that have been released, trust has been broken in the marriage and relationship. These things can be very difficult. And if you look at everything that I've mentioned here, and you look at your relationship and marriage right now, for those that are watching right now, those going to watch in the replay, I don't want you to just dismiss this. And I don't want you to just say, well, I've tried, it didn't work, and I don't think this is for me. But you're having bad sex. You know that things are not great. You don't have great relationship sexually. Yeah, things might be okay financially, things might be okay the other area, but this area, you've given up. In fact, you feel like I don't think there's anything that's going to come out of this. This is terrible. This is not good. And I want you to take action. I want you to do things differently. Do not just accept that this is how things should be. Right. Okay. Someone said, Helly said, that bloated period body, though, has no chill. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, guys, if you have any question, please also put on the chat box. I'll be able to address a lot of these today because I believe that this is very important subject that I'm talking about. Now, before I proceed to what are the actual sexual repertoires that we're going to talk about and how this thing can impact your relationship and make it better, I would like to just talk about the program that is coming up for those in London. This is really, really important that we it's really, really important that we think about this because I know that if we don't take action now, we might lose the opportunity. And I want to talk to the women. Please, this is an opportunity for you to ensure that your man is part of this event. Okay, really, really part of this event. And I want to share with you, all right, this event. So this event is coming up on the 9th, sorry, on the 15th of July, as you can see on the screen. I want to say that for those that have husbands or matured adults or men, students, as long as they're over 18, they need to be part of this event. This event is going to be a life-changing one. And I want to use this to encourage those that knows people in London or those surrounding London, anywhere in the UK. This is a life-changing event. The wholesome man. We're going to talk about men, money, mindset, and marriage. But there are areas that we want to specifically touch as well. And those areas are very unique in what we want the men to change and to be better. I just want to share them a little bit with you so you know what we have in stock. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the purpose of manhood. We're going to talk about the personal branded man. We're going to talk about the attractive, healthy man. We're going to talk about the mentally and emotionally fit man. We're going to talk about the financially independent man. We're going to talk about navigating relationship and marriage successfully as a man. And then we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of parenting as a man. These are powerful topics where we're going to share, discuss, and answer questions that is very specific to men. So I want to encourage you, if you know those in London and those that are watching, you know people in London, you know people around the area, encourage them to book their tickets to be part of this event. It's going to be life changing. And I can tell you, I personally, I cannot wait for this event to come, because a lot is going to happen here. And for those that miss this event for whatever reason, it's not hybrid, it's not going to be online. We just want mature men and married men to show up. We want to talk about men stuff, we want to deal with men stuff, we want to just be on ourselves. And this is exclusive men, 100% men. And when I mean 100% men, I'm talking about natural men. I don't mean transitioned men. All right. So please, that's the important disclaimer there. Only natural men, not transitioned men. I don't have the skill or the expertise for transition men. I only I was trained and empowered to only deal with natural men from birth. Is that okay? Right. Thank you very much for listening to this. Now we're gonna talk about um the repertoire now. We're gonna talk about the repertoire of how we can build this. Okay. But before we go, I just want to know yeah, let's see. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Right. So if you have any question, just put it there. But let's just look at what are now the steps to build sexual repertoire between a husband and a wife from a practical perspective. From a practical perspective. Number one, establish open communication. Establish open communication. I don't know how much I need to emphasize this, but I think you all know. You need to create a safe and non judgmental environment for your discussion. You need to set aside dedicated time for a conversation, ensuring privacy and uninterrupted attention. You want to have pleasure, you want to enjoy sexual satisfaction the way God have designed it. You must be able to allow your spouse to express themselves genuinely and truly. They must be able to speak. Stop the criticism, stop the domineering, stop the embarrassment, stop the judgment from your body language or your hands or your language or the way you express things. Let them be. When somebody communicates, a lot of things happen there. There's huge vulnerability in communication. You can't build great sexual repertoire as a husband, as a wife with your spouse, if you cannot allow each person to be them and to express them fully. That's number one. One of the things I've been able to do in my relationship, in my marriage, is that we have come to a point whereby every everybody can just speak their mind, right? And when I say speak their mind, not speak their mind in disrespect, in judgment, in condemnation, not just saying things just because you want to say things. You say things because you know there's somebody on the other side that is the receiver. So you want them to understand what you're saying. You want them to feel empathy in what you're saying, and you also need to understand that they will interpret what you are saying. And also you need to know your words can build or tear them down. It is absolutely powerful that you are fully aware of this. Step number two is identify individual needs. How can you satisfy me if I don't know how to satisfy you? How can you satisfy your spouse if you don't know how to satisfy them? So this is where you need to reflect, you as a spouse. You need to personally reflect. Don't be shy. Don't feel bad that you are now exploring ways that you can feel desired. You can enhance your own personal sexual satisfaction in the relationship. each partner independently could do this exercise. Get a book or get a piece of paper and just say, today we're going to write our sexual desires, our sexual needs, and what we want to be done in the relationship. It's a very simple exercise. And you just write it down, right? You just write it down. And the purpose of writing it down is for record keeping, is for reference, is for each person to go back, write yours, give it to your husband, and the husband write his, give it to you as a wife. And both of you have each other's sexual needs and desire. Now, these things can evolve. That's right. This is why you need to periodically look at your sexual desires and needs. If it's being met, as things change, are there new desires? Because we're human beings, we grow. Our desires grow as well. So that's why important. Number three, share your desire with your partner. That's what I've just said. Exchange the written desire in a journal or in a note. Communicate the desire, the fantasy. Let each person feel free to express this interest to each other. Partner takes turn, share their written desires, discuss their feelings, their motivation behind them, and what they want to experience. As long as both of you discuss it and mutually agree and find a way to meet in the middle, if you feel that any of those desires contradict or make you feel uncomfortable or you want to take things slow, it's still all about communication, sharing, and openness, being vulnerable and real so that each person know exactly what to do. And then number four, prioritize consent and boundaries. I mean, discuss the importance of consent. Share what is clear boundaries to you. That is why sometimes, based on desire, people could just say, I want so time. You can have scheduled sex and spontaneous sex. If you're someone that likes scheduled, you like predictability for whatever reason, please go ahead and do that. Discuss this. And there's your boundary also come in, right? And then you're someone that loves spontaneous relationships or sexual intercourse. Communicate that as well. At the end of the day, you want to have a conversation with each other when it comes to this that is comfortable and open. Sometimes the conversation may not even be comfortable. I want to be honest. Because what you are discussing is not what you want to hear. But as a spouse and somebody that understands the power of a team, you are open to discussion and to sharing, which is so important. Step five, educate and explore together. I've talked about learning new sexual experiences, techniques, positions, activities that you can engage in as a couple, read books, attend workshops, look at online videos. We have a lot of videos. In fact, we did our intimacy masterclass. We have this video that you can also have access to and watch and see the transformation that could happen in your marriage and relationship. Because it's all about exploring. Be an explorer, adventurer. Go, be curious, do something. Educate yourself, read, feed your mind, and use that to empower your relationship when it comes for sexual repertoire building. Number six, experiment with new activities. I told you that it is very important that you just don't sit back and only rely on one thing. I mean, look all around you. Even cars are changing, different versions, different variation of the same product. Look at houses, different variation of the same product. Even your career, there's different variation of the same career. I mean, nothing is just static. Dynamism is what makes sexual relationship exciting. This is why new experiences are important, very powerful, right? Try new activities, try new techniques, try new positions. As long as it aligns with your desires, you communicate your boundaries properly, incorporate even role play. This thing can be funny. Scenarios that is just just laughable, if you know what I mean. Try things that you haven't tried before. If you can even say tonight, I will introduce something that we're not used to. I will check things that I'm not used to. And you're practically real about it. Go after it. I'm telling you, your relationship is going to change. Even if you have to introduce any form of sex toy, maybe clitoral stimulant or stimulation, whatever you want to do, anything that could just boost you or those that have early ejaculation or erectile dysfunction. There's even a ring, that you can buy, very ring, and put it in the man's organ, press it down. It helps to stop the release of semen quickly, and also it helps to keep the blood right in the penis shaft. There are things you can get that can support you, but you just need to explore and find it out. Don't let your rigidity make you to continue to have bad sex. Number seven, practice mindful presence. Please encourage each other to be present. I mean, there's too many things that's calling your attention. There's so many things that wants you. Because when you are present, you experience the full sensation, all the emotions and the connections and the sexual encounters, the touch, the feeling, and all these chemicals that are released in your neurological part of you, the oxytocin, the endorphins. These things are great. They just bond you, they make you feel excited about each other, exploring one another. They are very, very powerful. So mindfulness is very important. Find a way to be here, and this will engage deeply with your spouse. And when we say mindfulness and be present, it's like just taking a deep breath. It's as simple as that. Just taking a lot of deep breath and focusing your physical sensation and attention in providing pleasure to your spouse and to your wife. This is powerful. And finally, seek professional guidance if needed. Please consult a sex therapist, consult a coach, so that you can find a unique personalized guide and support. I'm personally a sex coach, a sex therapist. I can support you on that. You can find out how we can do that by sending us an email or DM us in any of our social media. I'll be able to find a way to discuss some of those challenges and break down all these complexities that you have, and give you some clear, simple strategy and bespoke, personalized support that will actually build your relationship better. Because if you take these steps very carefully, and you adapt them into your marriage and relationship and your bedroom life, ensuring that each other preferences are not dismissed, desires and needs, and find a comfortable level to negotiate and compromise for each other, your relationship will experience one of the greatest sexual satisfaction environment that you have ever known. These things are important. We can't be shy about sexual satisfaction and pleasure. It is what God has given to us. And if you want to experience it, if you want to enjoy it, watch this again. Look at the areas that you need to make improvement. One thing I love about these live videos are this. If you want to change, you can change. If you want things to be better, it can be better. But it all depends on the actions you take. If things are not working, just don't pretend. Talk about it. If you find it difficult to deal by yourself, seek for help, seek for counseling. And if you want to build things that you don't know before, go for courses, go for workshops, look at different things that can support you and build your relationship to be better. Don't be shy to enjoy good sex. Bad sex is not good for you, because there's so much benefit if you know how to utilize sexual repertoire in your marriage and relationship. It doesn't matter how long you've been married. It doesn't matter what has happened in your relationship. You can have a great, satisfying sex life. And this is God's plan and God's will for you. I believe I've been able to convince you, I've been able to let you know that things can change if you change. Remember, change is constant, but growth is also inevitable. But are you growing positively or are you growing negatively? It's up to you. But take action today and start enjoying your relationship. God bless you for joining me today. I just want to know if there are any questions at all. Are there any comments? All right. Comments, questions, feedback. Let me know on the comment box. Yeah. Was it, did you learn anything? Can you tell me what you've learned? Okay. Let me understand. Is there any question? Let me know exactly how this live had gone. All right, just let me know on the chat box. What is the main thing you're taking away today? And also, do you have any clarification? Do you have any question? Please put it on the chat and we'll be able to respond. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm waiting for you. Let's see, let's see. Okay, I'm going to share just a video now. I'll share a video. Share screen. Which one? Share which window? Yep. Awesome, 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 awesome. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Right? If you need any help, just TM us. We'll be able to support you in whichever way we can. And for those in London, please don't forget the High Performance Conference is on. And we can't wait to have you guys on the 15th. Tell your husband, tell your friend, share this video far and wide to help more people. And the more view that comes, the more people will see it and their lives might be changed or transformed by your own support. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I will speak to you guys next week. God bless you. Signing up. This is Chinda Chinda, your life and relationship and performance coach. Take care. Bye.